They say truth is stranger than fiction. But what if I told you that some of the world's greatest disasters, inventions, even wars were predicted years, even decades before they happened? From a novel that saw the Titanic coming to a letter that helped create the atomic bomb, these are 10 chilling predictions that actually came true and might just make you wonder, what else has already been written in the pages of time? Fact 1. The Titanic was predicted. In 1898, author Morgan Robertson published a little-known novella called Futility. In it, he described a luxury ocean liner called the Titan. It was enormous, unsinkable, and on its maiden voyage across the North Atlantic, it struck an iceberg and sank. The similarities to the real Titanic are chilling. Both ships were nearly the same size. Both lacked enough lifeboats, and both met their end in icy waters in April. The Titanic tragedy didn't happen until 14 years later, in 1912. So how could this man describe it in such detail before it ever happened? Fact 2. Orwell's 1984 predicted our surveillance world. In 1949, George Orwell imagined a terrifying future in his novel 1984. A world where Big Brother is always watching, where privacy is an illusion, and every thought is monitored. Sound familiar? Today, we live in a world of security cameras, smartphones, and AI surveillance that tracks faces, voices, even behavior. In China, people are assigned social credit scores. In public spaces, facial recognition is already being used. Orwell wasn't just writing fiction, he was warning us. Fact 3. The Simpsons predicted the future. It's just a cartoon, right? But somehow The Simpsons has predicted events with eerie accuracy, years before they happened. They showed Donald Trump becoming president back in the year 2000. They predicted smartwatches, video calls, and even the Disney-Fox merger. How can a comedy show keep getting it right? Coincidence or something more? Some call it satire. Others call it prophecy in yellow. Fact 4. Nostradamus and the Fire of London. In 1555, the mystic Nostradamus wrote, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burned by fire in 3 times 20. That sounds vague until you realize the Great Fire of London happened in 1666. Exactly 111 years later, the fire destroyed most of the city. Thousands were left homeless. And just like he wrote, it happened in 3 times 20 years plus 6. Coincidence? Maybe, but people still study his cryptic poems, looking for the next disaster hiding in plain sight. Fact 5. Jules Verne predicted the moon landing. In 1865, long before rockets existed, Jules Verne wrote From the Earth to the Moon. He described a metal spacecraft launched from Florida, carrying people to the moon. Sound familiar? That's almost exactly how NASA launched Apollo 11, over 100 years later. Even the size of the rocket and the way it re-entered Earth's atmosphere match Verne's description. A man with no rocket science degree predicted the future of space travel. Fact 6. A letter that led to the atomic bomb. In 1939, 2 physicists, Leo Szilard and Albert Einstein, wrote a letter to U.S. President Roosevelt. In it, they warned that Nazi Germany might be building a new kind of weapon, using nuclear energy. That one letter led to the creation of the Manhattan Project, and ultimately the first atomic bombs. A simple letter started one of the most destructive projects in human history. Fact 7. Caligula predicted his own death. Roman Emperor Caligula was known for his madness and his dark sense of humor. He once joked that he would be assassinated, stabbed to death by his own guards. And that's exactly what happened. One night inside his own palace, Caligula was stabbed over 30 times by the very men who were supposed to protect him. His words weren't just a joke. They were a prophecy of his own end. Fact 8. Star Trek predicted modern tech. In the 1960s, Star Trek imagined a futuristic world of exploration, but they also imagined devices that didn't exist yet, like handheld communicators, which look a lot like modern smartphones. They use video calls, touchscreens, even voice-activated AI, long before those things were real. Now, over 50 years later, much of their sci-fi tech is in your pocket. Fact 9. The Economist's 2020 prediction cover. In 2017, The Economist magazine released a cover filled with mysterious symbols. Among them, a virus cell, a masked figure, wildfires, and global protests. It looked strange until 2020 came. The COVID pandemic, riots, chaos, fire. It was all there. People still study that cover today, wondering how a single magazine could foresee so much. Fact 10. Dracula predicted pandemic spread. In 1897, Dracula told of a mysterious illness, spreading through fear, ships, and foreign travelers. It wasn't just a horror story. It showed how panic and myth can travel faster than disease. Over a century later, the same fear gripped the world. Ships quarantined, people hiding indoors, and once again, a hidden threat arriving in the dark. History doesn't just repeat itself. Sometimes, it predicts itself. Which of these stories shocked you the most? And what if the next prediction has already been written, waiting to happen? Comment below, hit subscribe, and come back next week for more stories that prove truth is always stranger than fiction.